Hey guys, today I'm talking about bed bugs, and I'm going to talk about the 10 most natural, organic, and effective ways to get rid of bed bugs without having to use any toxic pesticides. A lot of people don't realize this, but bed bugs are transferred in this right here, our luggage. If we leave our luggage open in a hotel room or if we're staying in an Airbnb, that's the most common places that we pick up bed bugs and we transport them back to our homes. Bed bugs, I'll put some pictures up of bed bugs in their full mature size, but even in their juvenile and newly hatched sizes, it's very difficult to see them. So unless you're actively looking for bed bugs, it's hard to see them. So if you have luggage or you're about to buy some luggage, I would always recommend plastic luggage, and make sure you keep it up on the bathroom counters and not sit it on the carpeted floors or even put it on the bed and leave it there for any extended period of time. Something like this is going to be much less likely to pick up bed bugs. So I'm going to talk about 10 very effective ways if you do have bed bugs in your home and how to get rid of them. Now, if you're just checking into a motel, hotel, or an Airbnb, using something like this, a black light, is a really effective way to kind of search around and see if there's any bed bugs. You'll be able to see them if you cut the lights out, shine it on the bed. They will almost have a glow effect to them, so you'll know right away if there's bed bugs in that room, and you may want to check out and go to some other location. But unfortunately, bed bugs are just part of the hotel business. Even if they keep the hotels really clean, there's still a possibility of getting a bed bug infestation in your home from transporting them back in something like this. So let me go through all 10 steps and ways you can keep bed bugs out of your home, and how to prevent them and how to get rid of them if they are established. Now, before I forget, another common way is in our transportation from and to the hotel, whether it's a bus, train, taxi. Those places can also have bed bugs because there's such a high turnover of people. So just remember, it's not always just the hotel room. It can be in their transportation getting to and from the hotel. So it's just so many different ways that you can pick up bed bugs. There's no way to really avoid it if you're an active traveler, and you just have to deal with it. Once you get back home and you discover them, use a UV black light like this to find out whether or not you do have bed bugs. Now, I want to start out by talking about 2 things you can buy to prevent them. If they're on your bed, you discover them. It's really gross, I know, but in the 10 items, I'm going to give you 2 that you can buy directly from Amazon, and some other things that you can use that you probably already have around your home that will absolutely eliminate and kill the bed bugs. So the first one I would recommend is using a vinegar and water solution. 2 cups of vinegar to 1 cup of water, and you can add 20 drops of either of these 3 essential oils: eucalyptus, lavender, or tea tree. Mix it all together and put it in a sprayer. Now, the type of sprayer I usually recommend is one of these solo sprayers. I'll put a link in the description. It works really well. You can adjust it where it sprays up underneath, over the top, and I would spray everywhere around baseboards if they're inside your bedroom, baseboards, under the bed, in between the mattress and the box springs. Just really give it a heavy soaking. This is a lot better than using a chemical, because when your skin comes in contact with a mattress, you can possibly have dermal absorption, and so that's very safe when you're using vinegar and water and these essential oils versus a pesticide, which could be absorbed into your skin. But this particular sprayer is a solo sprayer. I've got 5 of them around the greenhouse. I've never had to use it for bed bugs, thank God. But if you do have bed bugs, use something like this and spray all over that, baseboards, everywhere. If you have a fully carpeted room, you're going to want to spray the carpets under the beds, and do that trick with your black light. Run it all around the room and make sure they're not completely infested. If it's just around the bed, then you're okay. So use the vinegar and water to knock them out and kill them. The way it works is the vinegar acts as your pesticide. The essential oils can act as a repellent. And of course, if you need to double or triple the recipe, you can do it in a container this size and give it a really heavy soaking around the bed and underneath. Now, unlike pesticides, vinegar is not going to have a long-term effect. It's going to need to be reapplied about once every 5 to 7 days, and you want to keep doing that examination to make sure you don't have newly hatching out bed bugs. This will kill them on contact, and these essential oils will help because vinegar can have a really strong odor. So I would recommend about 20 drops of any one of those 3 essential oils. You can mix and match, and again, once you buy this kit, you'll find that there's so many uses. I'll put a link in the description to this kit. There's 48 different essential oils, all natural and 100% pure. So the second method of getting rid of the bed bugs is using diatomaceous earth, and you can use a bulb sprayer like this. You put your powder in there and you fill it maybe to about 60% full, because you need a little bit of air in there to draw it back in as you're spraying it. You're going to want to put this in between the mattress, baseboards, again, anywhere that you would with a vinegar spray. So if you don't want to use vinegar, you can use something like this. It's completely natural and all safe. I would recommend using a food grade if it's going to be coming in contact with skin on top of the mattress and things like that. I'll put a link to this bulb as well, but it's another great way to get bed bugs under control. The bed bugs will definitely die once they come in contact with the diatomaceous earth. Now, you don't want it to be heavily caked everywhere. You just want a light dusting, and when they come in contact with it, it will kill them. And this is a really good method if you don't like the smell of vinegar. Now, I've made a previous video about baking soda and all the different insects and ways you could eliminate and control pests with just common baking soda. It's the same with this one. You just take your baking soda, you can put it in your bulb right here and just put it in between the cracks and crevices on your bed, around baseboards, around places like that. If you have a really severe problem, you can use a common kitchen strainer like this, put it about 50% full of baking soda and just lightly tap it where it's putting down just kind of a very light, I would say misting because that's more of a liquid expression, but just kind of put down a light dusting of powder all over the bed, in between the mattress, underneath, on baseboards, any carpeted areas. You just want to heavily saturate all those areas if you have got a bad situation with bed bugs. And I think this is one of the most common things that everyone has in their house, and it will work great on getting rid of them. It dehydrates them and kills them quickly. You may have to reapply it several times over a period of 2 to 3 weeks just to get them under control if you've got a bad infestation. The next method is going to involve isopropyl alcohol, and the concentration makes a difference. You can have 70%, you can have 91%, or you can even have 99%. And I think you're going to get a lot better effect with this by using a 99% solution. You're going to take 2 cups of it, of the alcohol, and 1 cup of the water, and about 20 drops of whatever your favorite essential oil is. The essential oil is basically for you because it kind of masks the smell of the alcohol. And you can use a small handheld sprayer like this if you're dealing with a small infestation. Again, back to the solo sprayer. But if you're doing an entire house with multiple bedrooms, you might want to consider something like a battery operated sprayer like this that can spray a fine mist everywhere. You can spray it between the mattress, baseboards, under the bed, carpeted areas. But I would recommend, if you're doing an entire house, use something like this. I'll put the link in the description to it. But bed bugs can be spread across a house really quickly. So if you live in a small apartment, you may just be able to get by with something like this. But if you're trying to treat an entire house, something like a large battery operated sprayer is going to work best, and it will cover a huge area, carpets, bedding, everything. So that's what I would recommend if you're doing a whole house. Now, in speaking about essential oils, one of the best essential oils you can use on this is just tea tree oil by itself. I would say 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. Now, this one is going to be too small, and you'll need to order a lot larger size if you're doing a large area. But tea tree oil has insecticidal properties. Again, depending on how many rooms you're doing, bedding and everything, you may have to upsize to something like this. But if you're just doing a small area, a little handheld sprayer like this will work fine. But tea tree oil has insecticidal properties, and you can use it alone. Do your inspection afterwards, and this may need several applications over a period of a month, but you can inspect it with your black light just to make sure there's no survivors once you use the tea tree oil. Now, if you want the most organic and completely natural way of killing bed bugs, where you don't want to use any type of purchased product as far as chemicals go, because everything is a chemical, all these are chemicals, they're just natural essential oils. But if you want to use just hot water, get a steam cleaner that can heat the water to 120 degrees or above and treat all the areas carpeted in between the beds, mattresses, and also you'll need to wash everything, pillowcases, and steam the pillows themselves. And you want to make sure that your washing machine can get up to above 120 degrees, because that's going to be the temperature that will kill bed bugs at all stages of their life, from egg to fully matured adult. So just remember that steam cleaning is an option, but if you don't have a steam cleaner, you can always have a professional come in and steam clean all the bedding, everything, and make sure you wash everything at the same time, because if you don't do it all at the same time, you can have eggs that survive and you'll just be repeating the process. And steam cleaning is not cheap if you're paying someone to do it. Now, on the opposite side of that coin of heat treating, the next side would be freezing. Bed bugs will not survive about 3 to 4 days in freezing temperatures. So if you can put any type of bedding inside of a large garbage bag, or if you have a deep freeze in your house, or if you happen to have bed bugs in the winter time where it's below freezing outside, you can put them all inside of plastic containers and leave it outside for about 4 days. Now, you're going to need to make sure that you treat the bed and carpets inside while you have that outside, and use some fresh bedding, and you'll just have to flip places with them. Once you bring them inside, make sure you've eliminated it off the mattress, because bed bugs are very good at hiding on mattresses, on the wood part of the bedding. So you want to make sure this is probably one of the most valuable things you can have when you're treating for bed bugs, is a UV black light, so you can see where they're at. It's very hard to see them with the naked eye, so you want to make sure you're doing an inspection while you're freezing your bedding, whether in a freezer or outdoors during freezing temperatures. It's a really big headache to do that, but that is an option if you don't have access to any of these products and you just want to do it the most natural way. Heat or cold is the way to do it there. So the next way would be bed bug interceptors, and that's a way to stop bed bugs from climbing on furniture, on the bedpost. You can make your own out of plastic, something like this, like a Tupperware. This is just a cheap one from Walmart, so it's not actually Tupperware, but having one inside the other, they crawl in, they get trapped. You can put a little bit of water in there with a few drops of soap where they'll get trapped inside of it. But I'll put a link in the description where you can order some that are specifically made. They're called bed bug interceptors, and it traps them before they have a chance to crawl on the bed. So if you think you have them in the carpet and not necessarily on the bed, using something like that would be a great way to keep them off of the bedding. But of course, during the night, bedding tends to, large quilts and comforters tend to touch the floor, so that could be a way they're getting on there. But if your bed is up high enough off the floor, using an interceptor could stop them from getting onto the bedding to begin with. Now the next method is just simple vacuuming, but you want to do some very specific things when you're vacuuming. You want to use a vacuum that has a HEPA filter, and if you have a central vacuum, you want to make sure that that canister is emptied outside. If the trash can, you keep it in your garage or basement. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it's out away from the house, at least 10 to 15, maybe 20 feet away from your house, because bed bugs could find their way back inside, especially if it's in a warmer time of year. They can be easily transported on something you're bringing inside, so trash cans need to be outside. And also, if you're using that particular vacuum that's not a central vac, you want to make sure you empty it, make sure it's cleaned out, spray it with a rubbing alcohol, because even the smallest tiny egg that you may not see may start the whole process over again. So just thorough vacuuming if you just think you have a minor problem, but you can combine these methods one to another and just kind of double up there. But yeah, vacuuming will take care of bed bugs if it's a very minor infestation. Now the 10th method is decluttering, and if you have a lot of clutter in your bedroom or area where the bed bugs have become established, like this countertop is very cluttered, so you want to clean off as much things as you can off the floor. Make sure that you wipe them down with rubbing alcohol, and just make sure there's no chance that bed bugs could be hiding, because they're very good at hiding up under things. So if your bedroom or area where they're at is very cluttered, that's going to make it 10 times harder. So if it's a kid's room and there's a lot of toys, you want to pick up as much things you can and make sure that you clean each one of them, because the eggs can be in so many different cracks and crevices off something as simple as a child's toy. So just make sure that clutter is kept to an absolute minimum. Now I will say one bonus thing is that one of the most common ways that people keep bed bugs under control is using a mattress encasement. I'll put a link to different sizes. I know different bed sizes, twins, kings, queens, and things like that. So I'll put a link down below, but if you look at the Amazon listing, you'll know that hundreds of thousands, some of these that I looked at earlier today, had massive amounts of reviews, and most of them are 4, 4.5 stars, which is really good for an Amazon product, because so many times you'll see 2, 3, and 4 stars. They're not really good. So something at 4.5 stars has got to be a really good product. So I'll put the link to in the description to a mattress encasement. All it is just like a giant, like a Ziploc bag for your bed, and it keeps the ones that are there, now they're trapped in encasement and they can't get on your skin and bite you, because they can bite just like a mosquito. And the ones that are outside of the mattress encasement, you can easily wipe it down with rubbing alcohol, kill the ones that are there, and you can get rid of the bed bugs once and for all. Now when it comes to calling an exterminator for this, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that, because you're spraying these pesticides on places that's going to come in contact with your skin, such as couches and pillows, and kids are on carpets laying on them and things like that. So I would recommend, the professional I would call would be a steam cleaning or a carpet cleaning service that could steam clean massive areas of your house. They're not necessarily in the business of bed bugs, but they are in the business of steam cleaning. And that, if the temperature is above 120 degrees, like I said earlier, that would be the professional I would call to make sure that they steam as much as possible. And I would do some of these other methods at the same time to get rid of the bed bugs. So just remember that it's kind of a cooperative effect here. You can have somebody to do steam cleaning, but it's not a guarantee to get rid of every single bed bug. Now, when I said earlier in the video, I said there would be 10 methods. I'm going to give you a bonus method also, because a lot of people have apple cider vinegar around their home. But here's a product you can use: 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water, and a tablespoon of neem oil. This is known as a natural insecticide. The apple cider vinegar will act as an insecticide. Mix it up in your sprayer and spray all the areas we've talked about previous, and that can knock bed bugs out very quickly. Again, if you don't like the smell of this, you could use some essential oils with it to help break down that smell, especially if you're going to spray the mattress, because it can really have a strong odor. So maybe even something as much as a 1/4 teaspoon of your favorite essential oil to kind of break that smell a little bit, because a lot of people cannot stand the smell of apple cider vinegar, but it will work. So guys, I just want to say thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments you want me to respond to, please become a public subscriber first. That's the way I filter them all, because I get so many each day. It's hard to. I would spend maybe an hour or two just responding to comments and questions. So if you'll do that first, I'll most likely see your comment and be able to respond right away and give you the most accurate and honest answer I can. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.